Welcome to this explainer. Listen, if you're watching this right now, there is a very good chance you are feeling, well, a bit stuck. Maybe you're actually sitting at your desk right this second, staring at a screen, wondering if this exact routine, and maybe that fourth cup of coffee is literally all there is to your professional life. I want to speak directly to you today, not just as a host, but really as a mentor. We're going straight into a profound analysis of human potential today, drawing from some beautifully written source material that sits right at the intersection of faith, economics, and our deepest internal motivations. So let's just dive right into it. You were not created to just survive your life. I really want to let that sink in for a second. You are not meant to just endure your days. You weren't created to merely manage your time, to wake up every single morning, go through the motions at the office, come home completely exhausted, go to sleep, and then hit repeat. Right? We've somehow just accepted this narrative that we have to endure this relentless grind until something magically called retirement finally gives us permission to rest and, actually be human. But deep down, you already know you were created for way more than that.
Part 1. The quiet ache, or success without fulfillment. Let's look at the specific struggle that so many modern professionals are facing today.
It's a phenomenon that rarely gets talked about in performance reviews or fancy corporate retreats. On one hand, you are ticking every single box of society's external markers of success. You've got the good job, you're making the money, but internally, there is this quiet ache. You feel absolutely nothing when the alarm goes off. Just empty. It's this incredibly jarring contrast between what your resume says to the world and what your soul actually feels.
And this touches every single level of success. I'm talking to the professional who has a great salary but literally feels numb waking up for it. I'm talking to the entrepreneur who is making money hand over fist but kind of can't explain why the victories feel so incredibly hollow. And I am absolutely speaking directly to the young graduate out there. You navigated your first career crossroads, you ticked every single box society and your parents gave you, and yet you still go to bed feeling like you missed something crucial. If this is you, I really need you to hear this loud and clear. That feeling is not ingratitude. You aren't being ungrateful for your job. That feeling, that is your purpose knocking. It's the specific burden of the high achiever who suddenly realizes that external success is absolutely not a substitute for internal meaning.
So that brings us to part 2, the modern tragedy of being fully alive outside, but completely unfulfilled inside.
Busy but empty. The greatest tragedy of our generation honestly isn't just economic. It's a fundamental crisis of meaning. Just think about that for a second. Recent studies actually show that over half of modern workers feel entirely disengaged from what they do every day. Over half! The real tragedy is the sheer number of people walking around fully alive on the outside, successful by every external measure, calendars absolutely packed with meetings, constantly on the go, and yet completely unfulfilled on the inside. They're privately searching for something they can't even put a name to.
So, how do we fix this? Well, it brings us to part 3, the call of the Khalifah, and discovering your true job description.
We have to shift our focus entirely. We have to move away from just surviving the corporate grind and start understanding our profound, lifelong assignment. Because every single human being was sent to this earth with an assignment, not a job title, an assignment. The source material we're looking at draws on this incredibly powerful concept from the Quran. It doesn't describe the human being as a mere worker or laborer. It describes us as a Khalifah, a steward. A steward is someone who holds a universal responsibility for positive change. You are a representative of something far greater than yourself on this earth. This connects your daily work to a deep spiritual sense of duty. You aren't just pushing paper. You are entrusted with leaving the world better than you found it. Honestly, that is the most significant job description ever given to any creature in existence.
But it's tragic, really. We take this immense cosmic potential and we shrink it all the way down to a mere worker's salary, a corporate title, or some catchy LinkedIn headline. We get trapped in these high-pressure corporate environments and completely reduce our identity. But contrast that mere worker with the Khalifah, the purposeful steward. Even in a cutthroat, high-pressure corporate environment, a steward isn't defined by their title. They are defined by their assignment and the actual meaning they create. A worker operates for a paycheck. A steward operates for a purpose. Which leads us to part 4, build for true meaning and pursuing lasting human impact.
We have to fundamentally rethink what we're designed for. We have to shift from solely seeking financial success to actively pursuing lasting human impact. Meaning, contribution, building things that outlast you, touching lives in ways that continue to ripple long, long after you are gone. Now, you might be wondering, if you're stuck in a corporate job, how do you actually integrate these higher values into your daily tasks? Well, it starts with seeing the humanity in your work. Take the story of this corporate IT manager who realized their true job wasn't actually just fixing computers. Their job was reducing the daily stress of their colleagues. They transformed their whole department into a hub of genuine support. Finding meaning comes through simple daily service like that, recognizing that every single email and every project is ultimately connected to a human life.
Part 5, the courageous decision, which is exactly where purpose begins.
Turning these reflections into a concrete path forward requires a brave shift in perspective. Because understanding this philosophy is one thing, but action is a whole different ballgame. I want to ask you something incredibly honest today. If money was not the question, what would your answer be? What would you build? Who would you choose to serve? What specific problem would you dedicate your life to solving if financial limitations simply did not exist? I really want you to think about that, because your answer to this question isn't just a fantasy, it's your compass.
That answer you just thought of, that provides your direction. And as the source tells us, direction, combined with discipline and deep trust in a law or a higher power, is the exact formula you need to begin. Think of this process like a garden. Your direction, that answer about what you'd build, is the seed. But look, a seed doesn't grow without discipline. Discipline is the daily watering. It's creating one concrete daily habit to transition from a worker to a steward. Maybe it's just spending the first 15 minutes of your workday setting an intention of service, or dedicating time each week to mentor someone else. It's consistent, small actions. And finally, deep trust. That's knowing for sure that the sun will shine and the seed will eventually break through the soil.
Your purpose is not waiting for you at the end of a long and comfortable life. It is waiting for you at the beginning of a courageous decision. I absolutely love this quote from our source material. We are so conditioned to think that we're going to finally find our peace and purpose at the finish line of retirement. But true purpose exists right now. It's found in small, courageous daily decisions or, sometimes massive leaps. Like the marketing executive who left a safe, six-figure salary to go build clean water infrastructure overseas, simply because she couldn't ignore her stewardship any longer. It's the decision to prioritize meaning over mere busywork, the decision to step fully into your role as a steward.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought. What is the one thing you would do if you knew it could not fail? Don't just brush past this. Let it demand some real internal reflection from you. The world does not need more busy, empty workers. It desperately needs stewards. It needs you to answer the call. Make that courageous decision today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I truly hope this gives you exactly the direction you need to begin.